Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional day. Sorry, my dog is acting a fool right now. He's been good all day, but hold on a second. I'll be right. I'm sorry for the delay, family. I might have a family emergency, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. If you know me, I'm a dog person, and my dog seems to not be 100% right now. And I'm supposed to go to Houston tomorrow, but I don't know if that's going to happen now. So, but the show must go on. So I'm just going to knock this out real quick. Um, so, according to Financial Biz, outdated occupations there's 15 occupations that are dying right now that aren't worth pursuing. And these were professions that were once thriving careers and now are on the brink of irrelevance in today's fast-paced world. Chat GPT, you got Chat GPT, you got robots. So I said, when it comes to the younger generation, you you can't really listen to what society tells you a lot. You have to just go by your gut feeling when it comes to careers, businesses, and people that you associate with. Because if you're going to allow people to feed you the 1985 standard of get a college degree and everything will work out, then for the most part, I think you're going to be in dark territory / dangerous territory. So I just, have to keep it. I just have to keep it real in that aspect. All right. But anyways, number one job that's dying in America: factory workers. Robots have already replaced some factory jobs, even as simple as moving a box from one area to another. This means that there's a potential for machines to take over jobs, particularly those that might be considered dangerous to human, not be as high as we think. A 2022 study by Brigham Young University found that 14% of workers surveyed had their jobs replaced by robots, but those workers tended to exaggerate the rate at which they were being replaced. My personal opinion on it, because that's why I'm talking about it, is I've seen where a factory in the Midwest or down south. I've seen documentaries where it shows the machines building cars. Now, back during the 2008 downturn, factory jobs have been leaving the United States of America since the 1970s, 80s. It intensified in the 1990s, but it's been slowly doing it since the 1970s and 80s. It intensified in the 1990s. Um, factory jobs and coal mining jobs, I'm not knocking it, but it's just not the way of life in the United States of America. I know there's a lot of places in Pennsylvania, specifically West Virginia, where coal mining is a very, very, very big deal. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. Industry is an industry. However, a lot of places that's considered the coal mining and Rust Belt areas, they've never recovered from those jobs being taken away from those areas. Heck, the United States, for the most part, this is another thing that people don't talk about enough. A lot of jobs were never recovered from the 2007, 2008 economic downturn of the United States of America. Um, it's like you've had a decent job market, but a lot of the jobs that disappeared never returned back. A lot of corporations that were around are basically disappeared. So it's a different world. It's a different time that we're living in now. And then, like I said, with more robots and Chat GPT, it's just the wave of the future. Number two, travel agents can be a great asset when you need someone to help you plan an all-inclusive vacation to an area you might not be familiar with. However, algorithms are becoming savior, and sometimes all a traveler needs to do before a trip is a quick search online to discover what's available at a particular destination. Now, my personal opinion on this one, I think travel agents are great because the algorithms can help you save money online, but a lot of times I don't think travel agents are as relevant as they used to be back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But I still think they're relevant today, especially depending on what kind of trip you're trying to take. Now, if you're just taking a trip to just a regular city, I'll say like Dallas or Houston, Texas, then travel agent might not be as relevant as you think. But if you're going to destination areas like the Bahamas, Jamaica, if you're going to Mexico, if you're going to anywhere in Europe or Asia, Africa, Dubai, those kind of places, I think having a travel agent can work out in your favor, because I think that having a travel agent can work out in your favor because in those specific situations, you can get great discounts, especially if you're going with a big group of people. You can get great discounts. And a lot of times, if you get a certain amount of people to actually go, the travel agent will not only have a discount for you with the different organizations that they utilize for their business, but if you get a certain amount of people, it's like if you spend a certain amount of money in a specific store, you'll get a discount. You even get it, so you can get 2 to 3 different discounts, and you'll save way more money than if you did going on your own. But as being a travel agent, like it used to be, where people used to do it full time and make commissions, no, it's definitely nothing like that. Most people who are considered travel agents nowadays have a regular 9 to 5, or they're retired and are living off their pensions. Number 3, reporter. The news industry as a whole has seen rounds of layoffs in recent years, in part because advertising and subscription revenue has dried up for newspapers and other forms of media. The Pew Research Center found that newsrooms have lost more than 25% of their workforce since 2008, and news organizations like CNN and BuzzFeed have made major cuts in the past year or so. So newspapers have been dying. The news media has been dying for a long time. One, because like you said, subscriptions have gone down. Nobody buys newspapers anymore for the most part. I can't even remember. I think the last time I actually saw a physical newspaper might have been back in 2014, 15. There's not even newspaper stands anymore. Um, and like, great example, Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post, but I'm sure he's smart enough to obviously do what he needs to do to keep the Washington Post alive. But you think about a place like the Washington Post, the New York Times, the LA Times, these are institutions. But when most people, and really, let's just be realistic. Most people don't even like to read a lot anymore. A lot of people never like to read, and I used to be one of them. Now you can't keep a book away from me, but most people didn't like to read that much. Um, they didn't like to, and they definitely don't like to read now. Everybody's listening to Audible books. When it comes to people's media, they're listening to content. They're listening to videos, but they're not. Most people are not going to subscribe to a news organizations. Like a lot of times great example, when I do my research, when it comes to certain subject matters, a lot of times I'll find a great subject matter and a great article, but then it's like it asks me if I want to sign up, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to sign up, because I know I'm not going to utilize. Even if I just thought about getting a subscription to a news organization, I know me, I'm not going to read. I'm not going to go to this website that often, and I'm going to forget about it. Kind of like Hulu and Netflix. People sign up for it, and people like myself, like I got Hulu, but I barely utilize Hulu. I watch YouTube more than anything else, so I pay a monthly fee for YouTube. But at least I know I'm going to utilize that service. And if I really want to just look up news, I can just Google the news. The days of the newspaper organizations, it's not what it used to be back, from the 1990s till, all the way to the beginning of the inception of the United States of America. So, and I don't think as long as technology is around, I don't think it'll ever be the same. But and then most people don't even watch the news. Like people even like organizations like CNN and Fox News. I just see them becoming more and more obsolete as a whole, because I just see my generation, us 80s babies, not wanting to watch it all the time. Like our parents and grandparents that are still around, they live. The older they got, they live to watch the news. Because that's what they did in their generation. Our generation is like, hey, if we want to watch something, we'll just look it up. I can't stand walking by a TV and seeing the news on, because I know it's mostly propaganda anyways. Hold on a second. Just checking on my dog. Yeah, so that's just one thing to take into consideration. All right. Now, number 4, it says administrative assistance. Executives rely on administrative assistants to schedule appointments, take notes, and plan travel arrangements. Previously, many executives expected someone to be by their side to do all this, but remote work has changed the landscape. A virtual administrative assistant, for instance, can help an executive from anywhere in the world. This also means that someone can potentially serve as an assistant for more than one executive, meaning there could be more supply than demand for the role. And this is just the truth. I think the only places that you're going to see administrative assistants still around, as far as today and in tomorrow's world, is when it boils down to government organizations, because a lot of government organizations are not 100% on board with remote work. And I get it, because the government's supposed to represent the people, so therefore you have to have somebody there to answer the questions. But then another thing to take into consideration, you still have a lot of corporate meetings. You still have a lot of big corporations that are old fashioned. Now I think maybe 10 years from now, more executive or executive assistants and administrative assistants jobs will die out because of remote work. So I give it probably another 10 more years, because you still have a lot of corporations that are bringing people back for various other reasons back into the office. But but to be honest with you, in today's world, if whoever becomes an administrative assistant, it's not something that you're supposed to stay in for the rest of your life. You're supposed to grow and get a skill set outside of just being a good support person, because at the end of the day, we do have all this technology, and if you want to be a valuable individual, you have to bring something else to the table just besides support and whatnot. Especially with the corporations of today and the corporations of tomorrow, you're going to have more and more people utilizing virtual assistants and chat GPT. Most of those virtual assistants will be working from other countries. So it is what it is. It is a new world. Number five, translators. Translators are essential in many professional settings, including hospitals, schools, and international businesses, specifically international businesses. However, the article says technology is making translation services readily available, bumping humans out of positions in favor of programs that can often translate more than one language. Now, I could see that happening, but a lot of times, the thing is, with a lot of other cultures and around the world, one thing I could say is, and so one thing I could say is, it's all about formalities. It's all about building the relationship. It's not just about the business for a lot of cultures. From it could be anywhere in the world. So if they don't have because a lot of cultures, you can't even do business with a person if you're not married and don't have a family. Meaning, that's what the meaning is. The meaning that, hey, they got to be able to relate to you in some sort of way outside of, hey, we're going to make a lot of money together. So with this, I see yes and no, but it may be in another 20 years, when certain generations die off and the younger generation decides, hey, I don't care about your family. How are we going to make money? So if we can translate through utilizing a web service, then let's do it. It's all about generations. It's all about how things go. All right. All right. Number six, bank tellers. The article says it's nearly impossible nowadays to find a bank that doesn't have an app or offer online access to your accounts. Whether you're looking to set up a direct deposit or transfer money from one account to another, most banks usually offer an online feature to get started, and banks operate entirely online. Online features also mean you have access to your account 24/7, resulting in less need for bank tellers. Now, I see that there won't be a need for as many bank tellers in banks, but a lot of times, until as more people travel the world, there's still going to be a need for bank tellers, because, a great example, when you go to a foreign country, you want to try to do a currency exchange before you go to that country, so that way you don't have to worry about doing it when you're in the foreign country, and you always want to have that country's currency on hand, because you just never know. Even if you do have a credit card that can be utilized in that foreign country, like myself, when I go to Canada, I can utilize my credit cards, because Canada is basically like America for the most part, as far as how things are done. But I'm still going to want to take Canadian money, and so I'm going to want to deal. Even though I'm an '80s baby, I'm still going to want to have to deal with another human being. So I just leave it at that. All right. Okay. Cashiers. Now, this goes without saying. Cashiers has been for the last 10 years, cashiers have been being replaced by self-checkout machines. I went to the grocery store today. When I don't buy a lot of stuff, I use the self-checkout. When I buy a lot of stuff, I utilize a cashier and whatnot. So, but I mean, in today's world, like I said, I can't speak for previous time, but in 2023, these are just cashier job, administrative assistant job. These are just not professions that you're supposed to want to work for the rest of your lives. These are really entry level jobs to just help you get some money, get a little experience in the workforce, and then move on with your life. I never forget talking to a young guy, and this was like back in 2015, 16. He, real smart young black man. Real, I wish I would knew his name, and he was customer service at a car repair shop, and this car repair shop was overpriced, but the customer service was impeccable. Long story short, I remember he said to me, he's like, "Hey, my job is probably in the next 10 to 20 years, my job is going to be automated. That's why I'm going to school right now to get because he's going to what is it? He's being I think he's going to school for IT. Yeah. But long story short, he knew at the age of 20 years old that, hey, my job is going to be automated. He was smart enough to know that. So it is what it is. And excuse me, you see places like even McDonald's, Target, Walmart, Costco have the self-checkout screens. Like I never forget a couple years ago when I saw that. No, this was like back in 2018. I remember the first time I saw a self-checkout. I ordered my food. I was at a McDonald's. This is back when I used to eat that nasty food, but I was so hungry. Only time you see me eat McDonald's is either I'm homeless or I'm just desperate to eat something. But long story short, I was at McDonald's and and I ordered online at the kiosk, and then they brought my food out to me at the counter. It is what it is. Number 8, bookkeepers. Bookkeepers used to be vital to a part of tracking expenditures and income for companies and other entities. However, like many other administrative jobs, software now exists that can automate financial tracking. In fact, the positions are declining so much that the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that the number of bookkeeping and accounting jobs will decrease by 5% by 2031. And it's unfortunate, jobs like this are being automated, but there's not that big of a human need as it used to be. But I think there will always be a human need to ensure that the technology is calculating the numbers correctly. You know, um, that's all I can say on that one. It's like you're always going to need to have some sort of human involvement just to ensure, but you just won't need to have as many humans involved just to ensure that everything is going correctly. Because I don't know about you all, but we've all gotten in trouble with technology, meaning that when we set up automatic payments, that's why I don't like automatic payments with credit cards. The only automatic payment I don't mind is with my mortgage, but my personal mortgage. But when it comes to my rental properties, I make the payments. I don't do the automatic payments. I could, but I'm not going to, because it takes no time for us to forget about it. That's the thing about automatic payments. It makes us easy to forget about it. And next thing you know, our bank account is getting sucked dry. Or there's a clerical error to the point where somebody to the technology didn't work correctly. And the next thing you know, you're getting a bill from a collections agency, because you were told that you weren't making the payments on time for something. So that's why that's the upside of automatic payments is it's being taken care of. You ain't got to worry about it. You don't have to log in as much to check on it. But the downside is it makes it very easy for anybody, even myself, to forget about the payment that you're making on a specific item. And the next thing you know, you're getting a collections bill. And the next thing you know, your credit's being affected. So that's why I'm not a big fan of automation in that aspect. Certain things in life, people need to ensure that they are taking control of. And even then, even with great example with my automatic payment for my mortgage, I still opt for the paper bill that say, hey, even though I could go into my account and log in, but sometimes it's nice to get the paper bill to just remind me, hey, this is being deducted from your bill is due, because whenever I had an issue with my bill not being paid, it was because money ran out of an account. I didn't realize it, but stuff happens. But I was served papers and told, hey, this isn't, and then I logged into my account. Oh, holy crap, my mortgage payment got missed. So then I had to go in there and make the payment on my own to go from there. But see, this is the things that, like I said, certain things don't need to be automated, because if it is, it's just an easier way to get screwed. I'll leave it at that. Number 9, postal workers. Everyone gets mail, but how that mail arrives at your home and what is in your mailbox is changing. For instance, many companies now offer online bill pay instead of sending paper bills. At the post office, postal workers are also being replaced with automated sorting machines. Because of these factors, the Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that these professions will see a 6% decline by 2031. And at the end of the day, most jobs at the post office are really just entry level jobs. They're not something like back in the day, when inflation wasn't as crazy as as it is right now. You know, back in the day, you could be a post office employee, work 30 years for them, and get a decent pension and be good to go. But those days are, the days of the pension are over, and everybody has a 401k now. So because of that, that's another reason why to think outside of the box. But because of that, and then with the way the technology is now, being working at the post office unless you're an actual mail carrier, or you're somebody working in management, or you're somebody that's working in more of an executive position, and then you have a lot of because the post office does actually have a lot of important jobs outside of just delivering mail to people's houses. You got to think of the commercial aspect of, and then the commercial aspect of what they're delivering, and then another thing to take into consideration, they handle a lot of sensitive information for the federal, state, and local governments. So that's another thing to take into consideration. You know what I mean? But any or mail carrier job like that is just not going to be in demand. Not just the postal service, from UPS to FedEx, et cetera, and so forth. All right. Customer service representatives. Now, I know that this is a dying thing because you have so many, like I said, chat GPT, robots, automation is taking these jobs away. Article says another career that has seen an increase in automation in customer service. Many companies now have virtual chat boxes on their websites that can help answer specific questions for customers. Job Outlook also doesn't make this career path seem favorable. The the Bureau of Labor Statistics uh, projects a 4% decline in these positions through 2031. Now, me personally, I don't mind. Every now and then, I don't mind speaking to somebody online, but sometimes I actually have to have a conversation with somebody. Great example. So I'll use the online example. So with Grubhub, every now and then, a vendor doesn't deliver the food, and they'll reimburse me my money and give me like a percentage off. And usually these conversations happen online, and not via telephone, which is fine. I don't mind that. But in certain instances, I actually need to talk to somebody. Great example. A couple of weeks ago, I needed to reschedule my trip to go to San Francisco. I was trying to do it on my app, and I couldn't. It wouldn't allow me to do it. I was trying to book it 2 to 3 months away from the original date, and it only would allow me to do it 2 weeks in advance. So because I had a conversation with somebody, I actually was able to not only reschedule my trip, but I actually got $200 that I could utilize in my airline wallet for the next trip that I take, or for whatever reason, anything related to that specific airline. So, and the customer service was impeccable. So I guess because I'm an 80s baby, I know the kids that have been born in the 90s and the 2000s, they're probably like, hey, I don't want to talk to anybody. I get it. I understand because I'm getting older now. But sometimes I need that humanistic aspect of things when I'm talking to people in order for me to get things done. So it is what it is. All right. Number 11, dispatchers. Dispatchers help organize and plan routes for a variety of industries, including ambulances and taxis. Drivers used to connect with dispatchers to learn where they need to head next, but the rise of personal GPS apps have eroded the need for dispatchers. In particular, companies like Uber, Lyft, and have fundamentally changed how transportation dispatch works for car services and cabs. And this is true because I remember learning, and this is back in 2015-16, how is involved Uber and Lyft is involved, not even just with the regular, hey, I'm utilizing you for food services, or utilizing you to just take me to point A to B, but there's an Uber app. I don't know if there's a Lyft app, there probably is, but there's an Uber app out there for truck drivers. All they gotta do is check the app to see where their load is at. And as far as truckers getting to the specific route, they have they can utilize technology, GPS systems. But I know dispatchers do a great job of other things outside of just directing routes and whatnot. If a truck driver because eventually, see, here's the thing, and I'm big on technology. I really am. But eventually, you got to bite the bullet, and you have to be able to talk to somebody. And that's the thing I hope that never gets taken away from society. Eventually, you got to bite the bullet and be able to talk to somebody, because sometimes the technology might give you an answer, but then it might not be able to give you the answer that you specifically need. All right. So that's just something I have to take into consideration. Number 12, computer programmers. Article says a career in information technology or IT can be quite lucrative, but the overall need for programmers is declining as automation makes computer programming faster and more efficient. Improvement in efficiency requires fewer workers overall, with more positions becoming remote. Many companies are finding less of a need for multiple programmers. Because of these factors, the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that computer programming will see a 10% decline in jobs by 2031. And bear in mind, family, 2031 is not that far away. But long story short, um, a lot of jobs are getting cut. I mean, a lot of people just don't understand that a lot of jobs are getting cut. You know, and the thing that's why I said it's like being able to think differently. And look, and hey, look, I wish we could go back to the days where we could just have a job, working for 30 years, and be good for the rest of our lives. That is a dying thing every single day. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. It really is a dying thing every day. And the moment you get too comfortable doing what you love to do, that's why I tell my boy all the time, like, I'm glad you love what you do, man, but you can't do that for the rest of your life. You're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. I don't care how valuable your job is right now. It might not be as valuable later in life. You know, um, I just have to keep that real. You know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, I'm just checking on my dog, so sorry for this, family. Yeah, I'm not 100% right now because it's like my dogs are like my kids, so it feels like my son is in pain or sick right now, so I don't know what to do. So, and I'm scheduled to leave, but I don't know if I have to cancel this trip or not. So, but it is what it is. All right, but that's the goal was to get this video done because I'm not going to be going live anymore this week for the next 5 days. I'm gonna be out of pocket. You can catch me on Instagram, Larry's Anything Goes LLC on Instagram. All right, number 13. Now, this is a surprise. Corrections officers. Working in a prison as a corrections officer can be a difficult job, and while there's always a need for corrections officers, the number of positions needed is on a decline. One reason for this cutback of corrections officers is the reduction of inmates, which was declining for several years before the pandemic. I didn't realize that. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the decline started around 2014. Interesting. It's usually, according to the media, there's today's forecast, we're all going to die. If you ever see my videos, I always mock the media because according to the media, crime is crazy everywhere. But anyways, I'll leave that alone. That's my personal pet peeve. All right, so, and although the total number of inmates might increase, prisons have learned to operate with less staff. I mean, I could see that. And because one, you have a lot of private prisons, and they get traded on the stock market. But I could see the need for less staff. I wouldn't say less corrections officers. And the only reason why I could say that, because what if no matter what prison you are in any state, whether it's federal or state prison, the potential for you to have a riot is very high, and you will want to have a significant amount of staff in order for you to utilize that riot, unless you just plan on having the governor of the state call the National Guard every time the prison has a riot. Doesn't make sense. you know but that's the only thing I can say to myself. It's like, you always need a decent staff, because the prisoners, and usually mostly in every prison, the prisoners outnumber the staff. So the staff, and it's like two jobs I know I'll never would be good at: police officer and corrections officer. I don't have the patience for it. To me, to be a successful police officer and to be a successful corrections officer, you have to have people skills. Period. I don't possess those things. You have to have patience. I don't possess those things. So I got to give credit for the good police officers and the good corrections officers, because in any profession there's good people and there's bad people. There's no such thing as of anything being perfect. That's just a myth, and people make me laugh when they make it sound so. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, I could see them maybe adding more robots into the mix. Now that could be something I could see them adding to the mix, but I would imagine the profession of being a professional correctional officer will be in demand because of crime, specifically in certain areas. But one, but then two, if you want to ensure that your staff is protected, they need backup. Because a lot of prisons, you'll have a corrections officer supervising 20 people, and it's like one person, 20 people doesn't make sense. I know with automation you can lock people down and things of that nature, but yeah, you I don't know. I'm not going to act like I know what it's like to work in a prison. I remember when I was in college, I visited the local county jail and whatnot, and yeah, I don't see that going down anytime soon. But what do I know? All right. Anyways, number 14, retail workers. Now, this is definitely I'm already agreeing with this. Yes, there's not going to be a big need for retail workers because most of us order most of our stuff online nowadays, and that just intensified during the freaking pandemic. But Amazon was a big thing during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, it became an even bigger thing during the pandemic. Heck, a lot of companies closed down because they weren't even allowed to. Small mom and pop businesses closed down because they not only were competing with Amazon before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, they couldn't even really be open for business because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown. So that's just something to take into consideration. But anyways, article says retail workers, nearly anything you want to be brought is online, especially when it comes to the big online retailers like Amazon. With online shopping increasing in popularity, this isn't great news for retail workers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that to no job growth for retail sales workers through 2031. If you are considering a job in this industry, it is likely a good move to find a corporate position for a big brand. And that's just what it is. And retail jobs were never really meant for you to do for the rest of your life unless you were first starting out in the work industry or you were retired. That's what it is. Or unless you were looking to move into management and then from there may possibly open up your own store, or possibly what the fuck? Oops. Sorry, I'm not trying to cuss. Or possibly yeah, moving to a corporate position. There's plenty of people that work at retail corporate headquarters all the time. People who are regional managers, et cetera, and so forth. So it's just having to think differently and think outside of the box. That's all it is. Anybody working in retail now is just a regular worker bee or fast food and whatnot. It's not supposed to be forever. That's why a lot of people that work in fast food who are good cooks, they open up their own food cart. People, a lot of times, I mean, heck, I saw a pop up retail shop on this. It was like it's considered the hood vlogs, but it's better than the hood vlogs. I forgot the name of it, but it's just in San Diego, and his brother had his own retail pop-up van. And it's the first I've never seen anything like this, and it was cool. He can just drive around and sell his products. And this is just it's not even a way of the future. It is what it is. So I can see more stuff like that because especially for businesses like that, they're selling specific items that you can't get off of Amazon. So that's what makes the stuff that this individual has way more special. But if somebody can get off, I mean, heck, I just bought a pair of jeans off Amazon for $25. I could have went to the store, but why? All right, last but not least, number 15, projectionists. Movie theaters are great places to be entertained while enjoying snacks and sitting in comfy modern movie seats. Many theaters have also upgraded to include reclined seats and dinner service. They have. Alamo is one of my favorites. The only time I've been to an AMC was in Houston, Texas. But anyways, these upgrades are also extended to the projection booth, where traditional projectionists had been replaced with a digital movie projector. Many of these new projectors operate with just a click of a button, meaning not many people are required to operate a multi-screen theater. I mean, for the most part, movie theaters are just not ever going to really be what they used to be. And being a projectionist, I don't see that being the wave of the future for anybody. If you really want to be in the entertainment business, then you got to step your game up and do something else, like actually be an entertainer, or be a camera person, or be a person who writes plots. I'll leave it at that. So it is what it is. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Sorry for the delay. I know it was like maybe 10 minutes of me not being on camera, but like I said, I have hopefully it's not an emergency. Hopefully my dog is okay. But that's just life. You got to deal with it, roll with the punches and go from there. On that note, do the great three things: like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. As I always say, oh yeah, I forgot. One more thing I got to do. I'm brushing. There's one more thing I gotta do. I'm rushing. It was like I knew there was something I was supposed to talk about. Yeah. All right, hold up. Real quick, because I put relationships in the timeline. Actor Jonathan Majors' domestic violence trial is scheduled for August 3rd of this year. If you remember, he had a situation with a young lady in New York City. Even though I think she recanted her statements, but I think other women have come forward for him. And it's like I said, if I was a rich and famous actor, I would probably just be celibate and just go into my hole every time I leave the set of any movie or show that I'm on. But that's just me. But anyways, a Manhattan judge this previous Tuesday casting him in a real life courtroom drama as his idle Hollywood career hangs in the balance. Jonathan Majors' accuser alleges he pulled her finger, twisted her arm behind her back. This is all allegedly, so I'm not saying he did it. This is what his accuser is saying about him. Struck and cut her ear and pushed her into a vehicle, causing her to fall backwards during a March confrontation in New York City. The woman was treated at the hospital for minor head and neck injuries, police said. Major's attorney said Tuesday that she provided prosecutors with video evidence showing the female accuser attacked her client, not the other way around. The woman has not been named in court records. Majors he was a fast, rising Hollywood star. Like I said, I didn't know who he was until Creed 3. I remember seeing him in the movie The Harder They Fall. He did a great job. I just didn't know who he was at the time. He is a great actor, but if this stuff is true, then it is what it is, unfortunately. But if it's not true, then this woman's got issues. And if it is true, then he's gonna have to go to jail, and he's been in a bunch of Avenger movies and things of that nature, Disney movies, and these allegations has basically screwed his career. But the judge wished the actor the best of luck as she scheduled the trial. Yes, ma'am, Majors said, standing with his lawyers in front of the bench in Manhattan's domestic violence court. Majors, 33 years old, is charged with misdemeanor, including assault, and could be sentenced up to a year in jail if convicted. Tuesday's hearing was his first time in court since just after his March 25th arrest in Manhattan, Chelsea neighborhood. So at the end of the day, I think it's a jacked up situation. If it's true if he did this, then he's going to have to serve, go to jail. But if he didn't do this, then it's pretty sad because there are women who actually go through domestic violence situations, and it's unfortunate that that when women or anybody falsely accuses anybody of a crime in any sort of manner, that they would do something like this, and because you can ruin people's lives with this kind of stuff. But that's why I said, and even this, the one thing I can say I learned about 2022, as much as I put myself out there more with people, as soon as I smelled a lot of drama, as soon as I got a hint of a lot of craziness, I let them go. I said to myself, these people are not the people you want to be around, because these people can ruin your life just like that. That's why nowadays, even just socializing is put yourself, I don't care where you live at, what state, city, whatever. It puts yourself in a precarious position. It can put yourself in a precarious position when you just socialize with anybody, because they can say whatever, that you did something, and if you're innocent, it could still ruin your life. So that's why I always say I'm like the CIA. Everybody's guilty till proven innocent in my world. On some realness. And at the end of the day, it's like, that's why when it comes to quote unquote friends, I really don't have that many friends left anymore, because when it comes to trusting people, not that many people in this life you can trust anymore, man. And with me, it doesn't take much for you to lose my trust, if I'm gonna be honest about it. So it really does not take a lot. So, but Jonathan Majors, hey, if you're innocent, I'm sorry that you're going through this. If you're not, bit, and you have to deal with the law. But you know, yeah, man, like being on a fast track in Hollywood, bro. I think he's supposed to be going out with Megan Good right now, and hopefully that's a better situation for him. But I'm just gonna keep it real. If it was me, I would want to stay single for a little bit, and I just leave it at that because people just not to be trusted in today's world. So I'll leave it at that. But on that note, do the great thing, free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. As I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live, bro, like a fool. Take care. Mike, now.